Well, it looks like Mark Carney was in the UK and he had an interview with Bloomberg. And we're gonna have a look at this video here, where this lady here, let's see, I can't remember her name. Michelle Hussein asks the question every Canadian's been thinking: why did you sign an executive order? Those don't exist in Canada. Are you trying to copy Trump? Watch Carney squirm and spin like a kid caught cheating on a test. He can imitate Trump's pen stroke, but not his results. And this is from Mark Nixon. Go give him a shout out over on YouTube and X as well. He does a good job. So we're going to have a look at this interview. It's just a quick two and a half minute clip. Now, before we do get into it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help grow the channel. And I appreciate you so much for doing that for me. So let's take a look and then we'll talk about it.
Have you learned anything from President Trump?
Have I learned? I've learned lots of things from President Trump. You always learn things from people. I've learned that the value. I don't fully subscribe to this, but I see the effectiveness. The value of the term they would use is flooding the zone, of doing multiple things at the same time, and the effectiveness that can have. I think that he has a very effective way, in his own almost unique manner, of framing issues and of dominating the agenda, if I can put that way as well.
I even wondered about the way that you know, when you cancelled the carbon tax, you signed it on camera with a flourish. It was like executive order style. Yeah. Have you learned an element of performance, like you have to be seen to be doing the job in a certain way? Because it didn't feel very Canadian. To do that, the signing on camera with the flourish.
Of course it wasn't Canadian. He was taking advice from his friend, Donald Trump. Big fancy boardroom, bunch of people in there, his cabinet members, bunch of cameras, signing an executive order style document, which is, we don't even have that in Canada. We don't have those here. Everything that gets passed has to be passed in Parliament. So when Mark Carney made that kind of flourishment, I guess you can call it, it wasn't to actually get something done. All he could do was take the carbon tax, raise the interest, or lower the interest rather, to zero. But if you actually want to get rid of the carbon tax completely, it has to be voted out of Parliament. And they didn't do that. They still haven't done it. He just made some, oh, look what I'm doing, this big thing that all Canadians want. I'm getting rid of this carbon tax. You lowered it to zero, so we're not paying it. But it also isn't gone, so he could bring it back at any time. It was all for show. It was all just to say, oh, look at me, I'm getting things done. And again, it's Canada, very liberal country. People keep falling for it.
I think that, I don't know it's interesting. I wouldn't have ascribed it to him per se. I just think that in a time when there is a lot of pressure, people are under a lot of pressure, there's a lot of uncertainty, the value of being very clear. So I'll take the example you used. That was the first day that I became Prime Minister. The first thing we did was to cancel that carbon tax. The next thing I did was to come to Europe, come to the UK, and to the Canadian Arctic, the three founding peoples of Canada, the French, the British, and the Indigenous Canadians, and to underscore our sovereignty, our history, but also to set up trade agreements with the first two, and a major intention to invest in our Arctic in defense and security. And
you hear that? Major intention. They keep saying it. We intend to. We're going to. Come on, guys, please just keep giving us chances. And again, I don't really blame them fully, because this kind of crap works. They just keep getting elected. People need to wake up.
So both of those things had substance. We canceled the carbon tax. Those trips had substance because they were setting up trade agreements and security.
Which we don't have.
But they also had, yes, symbolism,
right,
history, sovereignty, action. And when you're in, sorry, Michelle, but when you're in a crisis, particularly, this case, a trade crisis, an economic crisis, a crisis of sovereignty, given some of the points that President Trump is saying about the 51st state, when you're in a crisis, you need to not just act decisively, but be seen to act decisively. And that's what we were doing.
When he said symbolism, that was the only thing he was actually being honest about. That's all this is. It's just symbolism. It's look at me. Look what we're doing. while actually not doing anything. All those trips to Europe, nothing was actually done. The only thing that got signed was a letter of intent. Like, give me a break. That means nothing. That's not concrete. Now, he says crisis. Crisis this, 51st state this, sovereignty this. Okay, get a deal done. And if you think that Trump is so hard to deal with, that's something you would have known before you set both deadlines. He started off with July 21st, moved it back to August 1st. We are closer to November 1st than we are October 1st. He is 3 months behind. Again, whether you have a project at school, university, whatever it is, work, imagine just getting away with being 3 months late on a major project, especially one that, the longer this doesn't get done, this crisis that he keeps talking about prolongs. So get a damn deal done. What are you having a meeting with Bloomberg for? You're late. Get a deal with Trump. But I don't think he really wants one, at least not now. I do also have a feeling that if his numbers start to stabilize in the polls, he will then eventually get that deal done. They'll make it look so good along with the mainstream media and then potentially call an election, because it's likely that no matter what deal he gets, he will be praised for it. And the media is going to pump it out to all those MSN watching sheep, and the liberals are going to put all kinds of ads making people think that, oh, they got it done and Carney's the Trump slayer. They're going to say all these crazy things. And if he rises in the polls, especially enough to get a majority, or at least a projected majority, he could call an election. Right? So a lot of people, including myself, think that we could be going to one after a vote of non-confidence in the spring, if that happens. But maybe before then, Mark Carney gets that deal done, finally, gets absolutely glazed over like he was during the election campaign. Numbers go up in the polls, they call an election, and if he does that, if that happens, if it works, and he wins a majority, we are fucked. Utterly and completely fucked. They want to pass Bill C-2, which thankfully the conservatives blocked. Bill C-8, Bill C-9, these are bills where they want to be able to spy on you. They want to censor you. They want to have permission from service providers to get your data and then cut off your service and potentially put you in jail for saying mean things like they're doing in the United Kingdom. No, we're just trying to pass hate laws. Hate speech laws. We have hate speech laws. What they want to do is put people in jail who say things that they hate to shut down the argument, and therefore they can't hear opposing voices anymore. We cannot let this happen. It cannot happen. We have to be aware of this. And again, I could be completely wrong. Maybe Mark Carney's not planning that. But we have to be aware that the liberals are going to try to find a way to get a majority somehow. If what I went through works with the plan that I detailed for Mark Carney, if that's what he's thinking, and they get a deal done and they glaze over it, we could be in trouble. Big trouble. So again, please share this video. Let people understand that this guy is an absolute fraud. He is in it for himself. He is in it for his investments. He is not enemies with Trump. He's his friend. So if you hate Trump, you might not want to have his buddy as prime minister of this once great country.